Hi, my name is Rishank. I'm a research analyst and blockchain developer at Techracers. And today, I'm bringing you something very special. We at Techracers decided that there were not a lot of credible resources on the web that were telling people what blockchain is, the implications of the technology, and the scope of it. So, we decided to start TechConversations, a podcast where we'll meet and talk to different people who have been in the space since years. And for today, I have with me Ayush.
Hi.
He's a fellow blockchain developer and solutions engineer at Techracers. So Ayush, I think that we should start off with a very simple question. So how would you explain blockchain to say a 10-year-old kid?
Okay, I'll try to make it simple, but blockchain is a very complex concept. Okay. To understand blockchain, you first need to understand a transaction.
Okay.
Suppose I own this mug.
Yeah.
Okay. I own this mug means that I can transfer it to anyone. Okay.
Yes.
And then he will be the owner. And then he can transfer it to his friends or anyone.
Yes.
Okay. So suppose I give it to you.
Okay.
Okay. And now you are the owner of this mug. What just right now happened is a transaction. Okay.
Yes.
With transactions came two things. Okay. First, we know each other, right?
Yes.
We trust each other. We work in the same company. We are colleagues. So we don't need a middleman for this transaction. But there are times where people need a third party or a third authority to verify these transactions. The second thing was we have come to a new age, and these days assets are transferred in a digital manner. To keep track of transfers of these digital assets is very tough. So suppose there was a digital copy of that mug and I transferred it to you. There is no way to make sure that I didn't transfer it to someone else. So that is what we call the double spending problem. So there were already solutions to these problems in our traditional systems. They introduced third party to verify transactions, and they started maintaining a ledger to keep a record of which transaction happened when and all the details of the transaction itself. Okay, but blockchain, it improved this system. It first came up to improve this system. First thing it introduced was immutability.
Okay.
With immutability, we mean something cannot be altered. Okay, so suppose I send this mug digitally to you, and what I did was I went back and altered that transaction on the digital ledger being maintained. So means there is no way to stop that right now. What blockchain did was everyone who was interested can start keeping a copy of this ledger. Okay, even maintain it or participate in it and get rewards through it. So this is how they introduced immutability. Second thing which happened with this was that since everyone had a copy of this ledger, they can trust their own copies. They were maintaining it themselves, right? Yeah. So it developed a trustless system. So our first problem, or the middleman problem, was solved through that.
One more thing that I've noticed is that whenever you watch YouTube videos about blockchain, and whenever people talk about blockchain, and whenever there's some article about blockchain, people often use these two terms, decentralized and distributed. So what do these terms should mean to a layman? I mean, what is the exact definition of these terms?
Yeah, it is very easy to confuse between them.
Yes.
In the context of blockchain, means to understand decentralized relates to decentralized applications or DApps, and distributed relates to distributed ledgers.
Yes.
As I've explained in my example before, everyone has a copy of the distributed ledger for themselves.
Yes.
Right, they are maintaining themselves. This way, we are distributing the resource to multiple copies, or multiple copies of the node, or multiple copies of the blockchain, and to multiple people. Yeah. So resource is distributed, right? And with decentralized applications, since these are multiple copies, they can have different folks. They can have different versions of themselves, and people come down and decide on a single consensus, or decide on a single copy of the blockchain, which is agreed upon by everyone.
Okay.
And this has happened in a decentralized manner. Everyone participates in it.
So basically there's no central authority that is monitoring over the entire process. Every single person in the network has to look at it, right?
Yeah, there's no single point of failure.
Yeah.
There means there is no central authority, no single authority rule. You can understand it that way.
Alright. And one more thing, Ayush, that I've often noticed that people usually confuse cryptocurrencies with blockchain. I mean that for many of them, blockchain is equal to Bitcoin or blockchain is equal to Ethereum, right? So what are your views on this?
Yeah, it's very easy for nascent users to confuse between the two. But blockchain is a technology.
Okay.
it has a varied scope. Means means in time it's probably going to change everything. Bitcoin is just an application of blockchain as a technology. There are many other applications coming up with it. With Ethereum came smart contracts. Means we were able to write code into blockchain. There are concepts like EOS, which are designing whole distributed operating systems on top of blockchain.
Alright, so I mean, like, there is no reason to confuse and limit the scope of blockchain with only cryptocurrencies. I mean, there are cryptocurrencies which do not even use blockchain. I'm talking about IOTA, right? It doesn't even involve the usage of blockchain and it is still called a cryptocurrency. Right?
Yeah, many people confuse it. IOTA is based on a concept known as DAG. Yeah, it's related to decentralization, but it is not blockchain.
Yeah. I mean, there can be a cryptocurrency which is not based on blockchain, and of course, blockchain doesn't have its only usage in cryptocurrencies. It can be used in a lot of different fields and a lot of different spheres, right? Thank you so much, Ayush. It was really nice talking to you, and and we'll be continuing this podcast with different guests. We'll speak on blockchain and different usage of it. If you want more content, please subscribe to our channel. The link is down below, and of course comment and like and share this video so that people can know more about blockchain. This is Rishank from Techracers signing off.